We here now. Yo, so Joe Soy. And we here now. Ain't no turning back. We make sure everything connected. Yeah, man. We back for another episode of Quarterback Trials. We got an episode number 5, Quarterback Trials versus Jalen Hurts versus everybody. And you know how that go. I'm Barnes. Be well. I'm Barnaby Wellington, with Barnes Well for short. Like I always tell you, be well. And we back for, I wouldn't say it's the last iteration of this season, but I would say before the Super Bowl, this will be the last of this season. And obviously, we want to end it off on a good note. We did Patrick Mahomes last week. Patty going to another Super Bowl. And we're doing Jalen Hurts this week. Jalen going to another Super Bowl. Hopefully, he's lucky this time around. I don't know. I'm biased. I love to see greatness on the football field. So, hopefully it'll be a good game. And it's about Jalen today. So, like I said, I want to thank StreamYard. I want to thank YouTube. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank my kids just for allowing me to be able to do this and have this space to do it. Hell, I want to thank the planets aligning. Y'all see them planets in the sky, man? It's wild. Absolutely wild. So I got some tea I'm about to get started. Let me go ahead and pour it. I get my tea from Just Add Honey off the Beltline. Fresh loose leaf tea. Eventually you will see some Barnes Well tea coming up. I think today we're going to go with Georgia Peaches. We're going to go with Georgia Peaches today. So, yeah, man, I decided to do Jalen. It's only right. I like to feature two sport athletes all the time. And if you all don't know, Jalen was a two-sport athlete, but he was more in a competition of himself for a second sport. I like to start with my assistant. He provided, I say he, my assistant is genderless. It doesn't have a gender. They call it non-binary nowadays. And pretty much my AI, I call him Myron. So Myron got me a good starting point, got me a good teleprompter situation here. So we're going to start with that like we always do. Once my water finish up, then I'll add the water. But I'm just putting it in my little teapot. Get the holes together. Close it up. Put it in the cup. Once my water finishes boiling, I'll pour that over there and we'll be drinking. All righty. Here we go. Want some more. The Jalen Hurts, the definition of resilience and championship mindset. Jalen Hurts' journey started from high school. He was a football prodigy on his way to become an NFL star quarterback. His story is filled with resilience, professionalism, and an unwavering championship mentality. Through adversity and triumph, Hurts has proven time and time again, that success comes to those who persist, adapt, and remain focused on their goals. Jalen's early years, he was born to lead. Hurts was born in Houston, Texas, to a football family. His father, Averion Hurts, was his high school football coach at Channelview High School, where Jalen showed incredible talent and maturity as a young quarterback. He quickly became known for his strong work ethic and leadership abilities, throwing for 2,400 yards and rushing for 1,400 yards in his senior season alone. Despite his impressive high school career, Jalen's early experiences shaped his professional approach to the game. Even as a teenager, he demonstrated discipline and composure, preparing himself for challenges ahead, and this him being a dual sport athlete in powerlifting. Now, his college journey from Alabama to Oklahoma was a part of some triumph and adversity. Hurts made an immediate impact at the University of Alabama as a true freshman, leading the Crimson Tide to a 14-1 season and earning the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. However, adversity struck during the 2018 National Championship game, like we remember, when he was benched at halftime in favor of Tua Tagovailoa, just for poor play at the time. Well, instead of succumbing to disappointment in the SEC Championship, Hurts embraced his role as a supportive teammate, showing grace under pressure. He stayed on the team, obviously, and for another year, serving as a backup while continuing to prepare himself for future opportunities. Now, once Jalen transferred to Oklahoma, he was able to get a fresh start and get a sense of redemption. In 2019, Hurts transferred to the University of Oklahoma, where he thrived under head coach Lincoln Riley. That offensive system, he was able to pass for almost 3,900 yards, and he rushed for 1,300 yards and accounted for 53 total touchdowns. And he became a Heisman Trophy finalist that year. His time in Oklahoma solidified his reputation as a dual-threat quarterback and as a resilient competitor. Jalen's NFL success is all about proving the doubters wrong. Drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the second round of the 2020 draft, Hurts initially served as a backup, but quickly earned the starting role. Critics questioned his abilities, but Hurts responded by leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance in 2023. His composure, leadership, and dual-threat capabilities made him one of the league's most exciting quarterbacks. Hurts' relentless drive and professionalism have earned him the respect of teammates, coaches, and fans. Off the field, leadership and impact, Jalen is just that. Jalen is not just a leader on the field, but also a role model off of it. His thoughtful approach to life, humility, and focus on giving back to the community have made him a beloved figure in Philly. And y'all know how hard Philly market is. He consistently emphasizes the importance of hard work, resilience, and maintaining a championship mindset, lessons that extend beyond football. Now picture this. This is the call to action. Picture this. Anyone that has ever been faced with adversity, they had to practice resilience, professionalism, and the pursuit of championships. This call to action is to you, Jalen, and to those inspired by his journey. For athletes and dreamers to embrace resilience, maintain professionalism, and understand the ultimate goal of competition is to win, and not just games, but in life. Imagine a mentorship initiative where young athletes learn how to face adversity head on, stay composed under pressure, and focus on achieving their goals. Hurts' journey reminds us all that success is not just about talent, but about preparation, adaptability, and perseverance. That's pretty good, Myron. Good job. You know, I always proof these things before I get involved with it. I do proof them, but we're at a time crunch, man. We're at a time crunch. Let me go get this boiling water. All right, so yeah, I just poured in here over the top. I'm gonna let it steep for probably about whatever the package said. I think maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. And we're gonna get into this. Yeah, man, this is a different type of two-sport athlete this time around. He didn't play baseball. He didn't play basketball. Jalen was a power lifter. If you know anything about powerlifting, yeah, I got to be strong. Okay. And it said there that Jalen's dad was his high school head coach. So I'm going to start there. So my entire, my entire football background prior to high school, my dad was my head coach, you know, football and baseball. My dad was my head coach. So, and it wasn't like, oh, the coach's son got to play quarterback. I was the best option. Just keep it real. Not to put it like that, but just like that. I was the best option, and it proved as I went. That's the same with Jalen. His dad was the head coach of his high school team, but he was the best option. Obviously, having dad in the home, there's you got breakfasts, you got lunches, you got dinners, all 100% focused on ball. So we got a lot more work done while we're not at practice with the entire team. And I'm pretty sure that rang true for Jalen. So we brought up Jalen in the fact, like, you know, I want to congratulate him today, congratulate him for his success. You know, this, as we said, this is his second go round to the Super Bowl, but he did make it to the Super Bowl in 2023. Well, he came short, but he was also, if they would have won, he probably would have won MVP of that game. You know, the MVP goes to the winner most times. Jalen had a great game that Super Bowl, but he just came short. So it goes to the fact that, like, hey, coach's son, you know, I dealt with it growing up from little league, middle school, all the way up to, you know, AAU or travel ball, you got parents and athletes on the team like, hey, he's only a quarterback because of his dad. But in Jalen's case, all them parents and kids that used to say that back when Jalen was coming up, growing up, he's in the league going to his second Super Bowl. So you kind of eating crow right now. All right. And knowing that, like, going to school in Texas, high school in Texas, playing any high school sport in Texas, we know the level of competition there. We understand that. I mean, I'm bowing down right now. Texas has some of the greatest athletes in the world, just being honest. When you shrink it down per capita, you can fit Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi inside of the state of Texas, to where, I gotta give them their props. Obviously, per capita, they are going to be the best athletes, but I'm still kind of close to the Mason-Dixon line. You feel me? So anyway, Texas is a tough competition space in itself. So for Jalen to have beat out all the players on his high school team to become the starting quarterback, even though his dad's the head coach, and then not only for him to beat out the quarterbacks on his team, Jalen had to beat out the competition amongst the area within the state of Texas, just so that he can be acknowledged by the Power 5 colleges. We just read here, Jalen committed to University of Alabama out of high school. He wasn't a daunting 6'4", 230-pound quarterback who had a rocket arm that was, laser precise. He wasn't any of that. He was a coach's son, so we knew he was accountable. We knew he was disciplined. I say we, but accountable and disciplined. Also, he had led his teams to win championships in high school. So with that being the case, he's a proven winner. Now, let's shift to the powerlifting side of Jalen Hurts. If you got your quarterback being one of the strongest guys on the team, that translates off the field. You get what I mean? Yeah, that being strong at quarterback isn't needed. In some cases, it kind of hinders mobility in some cases. But when you do have the strongest athlete on your team and he's a quarterback, off the field, he's able to hold guys accountable. He's able to not just talk the talk, walk the walk, and literally say, come meet me in the weight room. I'm always there. And I bet I can lift more than you. So just that level of competition amongst his teammates, and then obviously being able to hold them accountable by him being one of the strongest and always being disciplined. That right there is something that colleges look at in regards to building a program around said quarterback. And this is the college time. This is before NIL. So obviously now schools and universities are actually building programs around quarterbacks. But in this case, Jalen was seeking to go to University of Alabama, as well as University of Alabama seeking Jalen. And he beat out all the competition around the state of Texas to get that scholarship. I'm pretty sure they might have offered a few other Texas quarterbacks that scholarship, but for Jalen to actually commit to receive an offer from University of Alabama and actually take the offer, and by all means, he comes in as a freshman and goes to the national championship. Now, his dad ain't his coach no more. You feel me? Like, he with Nick. He's with Sark. He's with, I can't remember if it was if Sark or Lane was there as his offensive coordinator at the time. I had to go fact check it. But Jalen was able to not only perform and beat out the competition amongst the state of Texas, but he was able to get a full scholarship offer from, some would say, the greatest college dynasty ever, for him to continue on that dynasty. So he committed, showed up, became the starter, took him to the national championship and won. Now, we spoke on the following season with Tua coming in and him having to be benched for that moment there. And there's a lot that can go on. I remember watching that game and realizing, damn, Jalen Hurts ain't gonna go to the league now. Like how can a guy that's younger than you come in and win the big game? And you already being questioned with your arm and all the stuff, the negative that they say about the black quarterbacks that are just more athletic or exploit their athleticism by holding the. I mean, quarterbacks have the ball every play, so why not go get that first down? It should not diminish that person's mental aspect of playing quarterback. But the whole time I kept thinking, like, damn, Tua in the game, he younger than Tua. I mean, Tua's younger than him. Jalen ain't gonna make it to the league with this. He's not. But as we know, he's professional. I mean, he sat there and supported Tua. He sent in the signals that Tua was sending out the signals to him, just a few minutes prior. And they eventually went on to win that national championship. I think the year later, Tua ended up starting, and then Jalen had to come in and, pretty much resuscitate the team when Tua took a hit and had an injury. So as football fans, SEC fans, we all became fans of Jalen at that time. Now, a lot of you all didn't think that he would be an NFL quarterback, let alone a starting NFL quarterback. But the moment I seen him get on that field and redeem himself or pretty much return the favor that Tua, provided for him, I say, man, that's an NFL quarterback right there. He might not be a starter, but he's at least a backup. So some teams are going to grab him just for that aspect alone. Like I said, he might not come in and take your program, your organization to the championship. Y'all might not make it to the land of milk and honey with him. But that's a professional guy you want on your team. That's an NFL professional. That is a professional athlete. You get what I mean? He's a part of the team, no matter his role. He's ready. He prepares like the starter, supports the starter, and when his number is called, he performs like the starter. And that was from the year before when I say, damn, he ain't gonna make it to the league. He solidified himself as a ideal. I mean, I say ideal quarterback for the NFL. And like at the time, I didn't say starter, but he was literally, I say, man, this guy is ideal. He's won before Tua got there. Tua come, phenom, Coach Saban, great Coach Saban. Hey, we need to win this game. That was a coaching decision. Great coaching decision. Full circle, a year later, Jalen comes and resuscitates the team, gets them over the hump for the ACC championship. Now the year ends, Tua finishes up. Tua finishes up the year. Jalen is already graduated at this time. And this is about the time where they've changed the transfer rules and everything. That fifth-year senior or that fifth-year option, you're able to, go and play immediately, no matter what school or division you're in. So Jalen decides to go link up with Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma right after, who was it? I want to say Baker. Was it a gap between him and Baker? No. Might have been right after Kyler. I can't remember. I had to fact check it, but I know they had a good run where Baker, Jalen right after Kyler, one of the three. But he goes to Lincoln Riley and he starts. Like, come on. Like, let's think about it. Obviously, Jalen started at Alabama University. So obviously he should be able to start at Oklahoma University, right? But Lincoln Riley is a pass happy guy, pass happy. And that's why he went there. While he was there for that year, Jalen threw for almost 4,000 yards, man. He rushed for 1,300 yards. And he had 53 total touchdowns, something he had never done at Alabama. He had never rushed for that much. He had never rushed and passed and had that many touchdowns in a year for Alabama. But he goes and hook up with an offensive mind like Lincoln Riley. And he's saying, this is my last go round. I've won championships with University of Alabama. Tua didn't necessarily take my job, but it's a young guys league. So let me go and take my talents over to Oklahoma, get with a pass first offensive mind like Lincoln Riley so that I can increase my draft stock because I've already proven myself that I'm a winner. But they want to know, can I throw the ball? They want to know, can I read defenses? They want to know if I can make adjustments at the line. And going to Oklahoma allowed him to do that. And like I said, it almost amassed to 4,000 passing yards and then at 1,300 rushing yards. And ultimately, when you make those type of numbers and you take your team to the first ever college football playoff, you get that acknowledgement. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist that year. He had never been one with Alabama. All his running backs were. So seeing him at Oklahoma, knowing he had played 4 or 5 years of college football, I start to tell my guys, I say, man, the best person in this, the best quarterback in this 2020 draft is Jalen Hurts. He's NFL ready. He's NFL ready. Jalen Hurts had played so much football and had played with so many great coaches and had grew up in a coach's home. He grew up with his dad. His dad raised him. His dad was a high school coach prior to Jalen being in high school. And after Jalen left high school and went on to Alabama, his dad was still a high school coach. That's like a cheat sheet to being a professional or being a franchise quarterback for University of Alabama or University of Oklahoma. Or in this case, he gets drafted second round of Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not a part of the recruiting and scouting board. I believe that might be in my future soon. But when you go down to the high school level and even some middle school, but the high school level, and you start to retrospect everything and think, okay, yes, we've seen him at Oklahoma and take his team to the college football playoff. And yes, he threw for almost 2,000 more yards than he threw for Alabama. And yes, he, Heisman finalist here. Oh, man, everything he did over at Bama is great as well. What's before that? Oh, his dad was a high school coach. They won state championships. That sounds like a guy that's groomed to be in the NFL. So the Eagles took a chance, man. Eagles had Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. They got rid of Nick Foles and chose Carson Wentz. But they said Carson Wentz is a stand-up, cement feet, pocket passer. You look around the league, man, all these guys have some wheels. If they starter doesn't have any wheels or mobility within the pocket, outside of the pocket, not the gain yards, but at least some type of mobility and not cement feet. Everybody around the landscape has that at their starter or their backup. So Philly decided to go ahead and get Jalen in the second round. They didn't think that they were going to be, injecting him as a starter soon. They just was like, okay, yeah, we can develop this guy. He can be there for us. He can get better, learn how to be a professional. But ultimately, they got shocked and surprised that he came in as a already made product, an already made professional. And that was a big reason that they drafted him. They felt like they got a steal in the draft. You get a steal in the draft like Jalen Hurts because of the resilience and the professionalism and the background of this young man. A power lifter. We've been talking about baseball and football and Deion and Bo Jackson. We ain't talk about no power lifters. I mean, this guy ain't wrestled in high school. He played basketball or baseball. He was a power lifter in high school. And he was a quarterback. He won state championships. He won national championships. He took his team to the college football playoff. This is a winner. Yes, he's been surrounded by good talent, but this is the NFL. We could surround him by good talent. Everybody should be good talent. Maybe not great Hall of Fame talent, but it's the NFL. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get a steal for him and see what happens, And ultimately, it was that Russell Wilson effect, baby. It was that Russell Wilson effect. You can't deny what's there, I can see it. I watch athletes all the time, you know, whether if it's in the selection process during trials or just practice in general. You see who has command. You see who has the unwavering effort. You see the one that runs past the line and not stopping at the line. And in this case, seeing Jalen accomplish these things as well as go through some adversity, but still, you know, support his team, and then having all of those coaches changes, and then going and learning new systems, and at Oklahoma, all of that went into part of drafting Jalen Hurts. Again, they didn't know he was going to be the starter. They didn't know he was going to wreak havoc amongst Carson Wentz, and it'd be like, oh man, we need to make a decision because the locker room's divided. But ultimately, they made the right decision. Jalen Hurts made it to his damn Super Bowl, man. He made it to the Super Bowl. He made it to the Super Bowl in 2023. Like I said, if they would have won that game, he would have won the MVP for that game. Threw for almost 300 yards, man. Game was like 39, 30, 38, 30, 38, 35, 39, 35. I can't remember the exact score, but it was an actual close game. So this is a pattern here. It's a pattern. And we talked about it with Russell Wilson. All right. I hadn't talked about Kyler, but we talked about it with Russell Wilson. Now we're talking about with Jalen Hurts. The way that we've always seen quarterbacks 6'2", 6'3", and above, 200 plus above, 12-6 over the top throwing motion, cement feet, sit in the pocket, back and forth, up and back, no escapability, no mobility in and out the pocket or to get that first down. And those guys usually go top picks, top in the draft. But if they were to redo this 2020 draft, Jalen Hurts would be at the top of that list. It's his second Super Bowl in 3 years. And there's a great chance he can win. I'm not saying that he will win. Again, he's playing against the Chiefs defense. He's not playing against Patrick Mahomes. He's playing against the Chiefs defense. That is not the same as playing against Patrick Mahomes. The Eagles defense got their own problems. You feel me? They got to deal with my homeboy. Now, the Chiefs defense got their own problems. They got to deal with Jalen Hurts, making the decision to hand it or pull it, to look this way and throw that way. And it's going to be a tough battle for the Chiefs defense to do that. It is. Because the whole time your ass can be thinking about, oh, He gonna hand the ball to Saquon all day. I would not. If I'm in the option set, if I'm in the pass option, the RPO set, I'm not pulling the ball into the third quarter. I'm only giving. I don't care I'm only going to be giving the ball to my running backs the first half, and then I'll win the game in the second half because the tendencies and the muscle memory is going to continue to have the D line or the furthest out wide guy for him to crash. And if everybody's trying to stop Saquon for the first half, it's going to take them a good quarter for them to realize, damn, I forgot Jalen can run this bitch. But yes, if I'm Jalen, that's the decision that I'm making. I don't care what it looks like. I might pull it once if we at the goal line. You know what? Not once. Only time I'm pulling is if we inside the red area. And then have them have their scouts or whoever's in the skybox, have them say, hey, Jalen's pulling only in the red area. So alert the defense, hey, watch out for Jalen pulling. Because the second half, I'm going to be pulling all throughout the field. Because your mindset already going to be thinking, all right, they ain't in the red area, they ain't in the red area. We just worry about Saquon. And then give me here. Now I'm going this way, 100 yards down the field, and now you're Super Bowl champion and beat the greatest quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks we've seen. So that's on the football side. I kind of got away with it. But I told my guys, man, I told them before the draft, I say Jalen Hurts is the best candidate, the best quarterback here on this in this draft because of the things I just mentioned. Him going from, high school ball in Texas as his dad being his head coach. That enough alone gets you in the door from these colleges. Then you go on to Alabama, you win your national championships playing with Heisman Trophy winners, and then playing as a backup, showing who you are. Not showing, oh, I'm going to just leave this school just because this guy took my job. No. Team player know that I play a role on this team. And eventually, SEC championship, Jalen had to come in and redeem himself and bring juice to the team to win the game. Transfer to Oklahoma. First year college football playoff, Jalen there. He a winner. He ain't bullshitting. He's there. He's not giving a damn about what Coach Saban talking about. He ain't thinking about what the critics say. All he's saying is, I'm about to put up damn near 4,000 passing yards, 1,300 rushing yards, 50 touchdowns. I'm going to be a Heisman finalist. We're going to go to the college football playoffs, and we're going to win a national championship. That didn't happen. The last part didn't happen. But when you bottle all of those pieces together, and then you think of, and then you hear the man talk, he's forever talking about his teammates. He's forever talking about preparation. He's forever giving glory to God. He's always being accountable and not sugarcoating it. He's very direct and assertive, and he knows that there's a thin line between attitude and asshole. He shows attitude, but he's not an asshole. He's direct and assertive, but he's not an asshole. And when you see him out there blinging, dog, you see my boy out there blinging, you realize that boy is that boy is an urban god right now. You got white women calling him the sexiest quarterback in the league. Huh? You got white women left the Matthew Stafford train, left the who else out there? The Brock Purdy train, and jumped on the Jalen Hurts train since he popped out with that ice on. You feel me? So he's one of our urban gods that we have, and I'm pretty sure his path to greatness doesn't just stop past the football field. We hear it in his speech. He's, like I said, he's an assertive guy. He's raised by coaches. He acknowledges and admires coaches. His dad's a coach. So Jalen's one of our leaders of this generation that obviously he has a goal and he's on a mission to win as many NFL games and win as many Super Bowls as he can. But I do believe he's going to be one of the ones that does right by his money, but does right for his lasting impression with his money. He's not going to be the one that, just jury out everywhere. I believe he's the one that's going to be a leader within our community when it comes to telling these kids about resilience, professionalism, and pursuing pursuing greatness and winning in life, and understanding that just because other people expect you to respond a certain way, you don't have to respond that way. Life's about choices, and he makes choices that don't benefit his right now. He makes choices that benefit his long run or his actual goal that he set out to do. And I don't know about y'all, but that is very, very, very inspiring. It's something to look towards. It's exemplary. He's an example for any young man, sports related or not, to look towards. Being an assertive and direct, professional, resilient young man is what we all need. He shows integrity. He understands loyalty and also learning. He knows how not to burn bridges. The whole situation with AJ Brown not getting the ball, and Devontae Smith, he a worker, he a soldier. Jalen ain't feeding into it at all. He kept getting down on his knees praying, and also putting his work out on the field in the weight room and out in the community. And he's in the Super Bowl. And AJ Brown's not mad about being in the Super Bowl at all. And again, I don't believe none of this shit. That's why we here now. We make our own media. I don't believe none of that media shit. I don't believe none of what they try to put wedges in between teammates or wedges that aren't there. Like if they haven't verbalized it themselves, I don't believe it. Because again, these guys at the Super Bowl in New Orleans right now, and they can change their history by being labeled a Super Bowl champion. Jalen ain't got no time for that. And AJ Brown, them boys cool, man. Them boys is best friends and godsons, godfathers to each other's kids. So that just goes to show the type of guy that Jalen is. Because had him succumb to those the media putting that shit together and putting wedges in between, had he succumbed to that, they wouldn't be in the Super Bowl. They would have got beat by the Commanders, and then we'll be talking about Jaden right now. But we talking about Jalen, and like I said at the bottom, will he beat the Chiefs? I don't know. I don't know if he'll beat the Chiefs. Like I said, he ain't playing Patrick Mahomes. He's playing the Chiefs defense, and Chiefs defense goddamn rocking, man. Ain't nobody really been able to stop Saquon all year. But Spags, he gonna do his best to stop Saquon and force Jalen to beat him. And if he does that, like I said, that's the only way that I see Spags making a mistake is they intentionally, if Jalen intentionally say, Coach, I cannot pull. I got to get it. I got to give every time. I got to give the option off every time. I got to give it to him every time. I have to. Because it's just going to bait them. Just working it. We're just working it. Getting muscle memory. Getting everybody muscle memory on the defensive side looking at it. And that's going to be the deciding factor. Because we know Patrick Mahomes going to do what he got to do. And like I said, the Chiefs defense ain't been bullshitting. They have not. So will he beat the Chiefs? The only way that Jalen beats the Chiefs is if that's the game plan. Obviously, you got to throw the ball and all that. Like, duh. But they're going to try to stop Saquon. And the only way for them to do that is if you give it to them. Hey, you could tell the defensive coordinator can tell them all the time, hey, watch for the pull, watch for the quarterback. But if you keep handing the damn ball off in his stomach every damn time, what am I watching for? I'm late to the tackle, coach. I'm on this field. I'm not about to be waiting, speeding sand just to make sure he handed it to Saquon or handed it to the running back. I'm gonna do muscle memory, man. He been handing that shit to the running back every time. I ain't guessing. This probability he handed it off. I'm running up. So we want that to do it all first half. You can pull in the red area because we need the points, but all first half. And that second half roll around, they not gonna know what to do. You start pulling. You can pull every damn time. You'll make at least 5 yards. And that's how y'all will beat them. That's how y'all will beat them, Jalen. That's the only way that the Eagles offense will beat the Chiefs defense. Because I believe Philly defense can hold up for you. But as far as your play, Jalen, don't pull the ball to the second half. You'll win the game. Now, we see that happen. Then we go back to this and we timestamp. We say, hey, that's what I said. But it ain't even about me being right. Because honestly, I want the Chiefs to win. I would love to see Jalen win. But I do want to see Patrick Mahomes win because he three-peat ain't never been done before. But Jalen making it to the Super Bowl for 2 times, his second time in 3 years, second time in his first few years being in the league. I would love to see him get one just so that it's not a prolonged thing and he never makes it back to the Super Bowl. And, that's a life that no one wants to live. So I would love to see Jalen win this Super Bowl just for that case. So he doesn't have to wait and he's on the path of Hall of Fame or not. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl. And ultimately, if he starts pulling the ball, he will win MVP. Saquon won't win MVP. If he pulls the ball second half and he wins with his legs, he has 250 passing yards, he will win the MVP. So that's all I think as far as him winning, man. Like I said, the call to action, we need the call to action to be real, bro. We do need a mentorship initiative to tell young people how to deal with adversity head on and stay composed under pressure and focus on achieving their goals. That's what we've spoken on this entire time. I'm believing Jalen and his dad, or Jalen had a goal for himself, and his dad and his mom and his family helped pursue that goal in high school, college, and then obviously now. And had him leaving Alabama early, the year tour started, and he was a backup, we wouldn't see Jalen Hurts. We wouldn't. Because if he don't come in that game when Tua got hurt in the SEC championship, if Jalen doesn't come in that game, the conversation is this would be a great time for Jalen Hurts to come in, but he's transferred out because he was a backup and he didn't want to back up behind the Tua Tagovailoa, and which took his job. And that the story was a beautiful story. Commentators, would you look at that? How the tables turned. Tua came in for the national championship and won it for him, and now Jalen's returning the favor for the team to do the same thing. That's what got Jalen in the league. That's what made me realize that he's a professional athlete. He's a professional football player. He's a professional quarterback, and we need him on the team. If you can have fucking Cooper Rush and Chase Daniels and Colt McCoy and hell, even Kellen Moore, if those guys can be career backup quarterbacks, I know for hell damn Jalen Hurts can be a career backup player. That's just at the minimum. But he's proven us that he's more than just a backup. He's a champion, NFC champion twice, and also he's on his way to become a Super Bowl champion if he can pull the ball just second half. Give it the first half, pull it second half. Give all first half, pull it all second half. And he'll become Super Bowl winning MVP. Now, and I say, we just dove into it. You know, my only personal conversation to Jalen was that right there, me telling my homeboy, like, hey, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in this draft. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in this draft. That's all I got. I mean, like, personally, like, that's really the only stories that I have. I've looked up some discovery, seen them at the 11-11, Elite 11s and passing camps, and was going to bring all that discovery on that because those are some of the camps and events that I was involved in when I was going through high school and college. But I think the most important thing personally is me saying Jalen was the best quarterback in that draft. And it stemmed from when he came into the game with Tua, and then him transferring out to Oklahoma and being a Heisman finalist, throwing for almost 4,000 yards under Lincoln Riley. You got Baker Mayfield, you got Kyler Murray, you got Jalen Hurts, you got Caleb Williams. So Lincoln Riley is one of the ones that the guys go to ultimately become a top prospect for as a quarterback in the NFL. And although Jalen fell down to the second round, he's proved to be the best quarterback out of the 2020 NFL draft. So, Jalen, I love you, man. I absolutely love you, bro. Shout out to the bros. You feel me? Rude dog. I seen you cross a couple years ago. So shout out to you, dog. I'm proud of you, bro. You cut your hair. You look grown as hell, man. You cut your hair, and I'm happy for you for that. They've labeled you the hottest man, the sexiest man in sports, bro. So shout out to you for doing that. Shout out to your team. If y'all don't know, I know we talked about it with Lamar Jackson a little bit. His mom representing him in salary talks. As we know, or if you don't know, Jalen's entire team, whether it's lawyer, manager, agent, all women. I think that portion alone makes him one of my favorites. It's not a sexist thing, a womanizing thing. It's that women hold people accountable. You feel me? Women have detail. You feel me? Women are usually fair, but they have the best interest for you. You know what I'm saying? So Jalen's taking that on, and it's like, hey, other players, y'all need to get on suit, man. Holler at all his people that he's dealing with. Hire, not holler at them. Hire his people. Hire their agency because it's worked for him. That man got a couple $100 million by taking his team to the Super Bowl. He's going to be up for another contract within the next 2 years. He wins the Super Bowl, he's going to get a contract similar to Patrick Mahomes, because what are you supposed to do when the market's going up like this? So, Jalen, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm really proud of you. Like I said, we got some call to action for you and your team. If y'all see this, y'all get this, y'all reach out to me, your network or your team, reach out to me. I'm more than willing to help with this, because these kids, whether athletes or not, they need to know how to face adversity. And we have you as an example of facing that adversity and still becoming successful. And that's the call to action that I want to relay back to you. Like I said, man, I love having these talks about the quarterbacks. We almost at the end. We are going to be talking through this throughout the draft process. We're going to be talking about all quarterbacks. I'm gonna get it. It looks biased now. I've been talking mostly black quarterback, but we will get involved with all races of quarterbacks. We're gonna hit the tour, hit the Matt Stafford. I got a crazy story of Matt Stafford in the weight room at the UGA. I was on a recruit visit, so I want to get to that. I want to get to Jared Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff, one of my favorites. He's been one of my favorites. I want to talk about obviously Kyler and who else? Matter of fact, I think we might have already talked about Kyler. But yeah, I might even start talking about some of these guys that are up for the draft now. So, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, it don't cost nothing to subscribe. You ain't got to pay no damn fee or none of that. You just subscribe. But I ain't going to strong arm you. I ain't going to keep you here too much longer. We've been keeping the cadence really good around that 45 to 50-minute mark. So we about to call it a day, and I appreciate you all. Like I said, I'm Barnaby Wellington, Barneswell for short. So be well.